Welcome to Grawlix Nights, the Grawlix Podcast live show. I'm Randy.
I'm Melanie.
And I'm Jesse.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Hello.
How's it hanging?
It's amazing my artificial energy level at the beginning of the show, because just before I'm like, okay, I'm gonna hit live, then do the video.
You did. You sounded like an NPR host.
It's show business. So tonight, more on time tonight. Savannah says yes.
Yeah, close. This is close.
It's as close as we've been in a long time.
Yeah.
We're only 15 minutes behind when we tell people we're going live. Tonight we're gonna do it's monster of the week.
Yeah.
And the monster is creepy neighbors.
Yeah, the monsters are us, humans.
Yeah, I was gonna say the most realistic not creepy. The most realistic bad guys, I guess, that we've done so far.
Yeah.
That's true. If you don't count children.
Well, everyone knows
villains.
Children are evil, pure evil, and then we have to raise them up right.
Evil, pure evil.
I don't recall how the neighbors thing. I'm sorry, I'm just poking my eye out here on the cam. I've got something in my eye.
Take that eyeball out of there, man.
Hey, welcome to the show.
There might be bees behind it.
So I don't remember how did we come across the idea of creepy neighbors?
I don't know.
Well, it's a great idea, and I was like, well, that gives me an excuse to watch Fright Night for whatever reason.
Did you?
Yeah. I did. I was gonna watch something else, and I was like, no, this is boring. I'm gonna watch Fright Night. And it was on Shudder. Hey, it's paying off so far.
The good one or the new one? Okay, thanks.
I watched the original Fright Night. Savannah said she suggested it. Okay, well, good suggestion. You'll put an eye out with that thing. I know. I think I got it though. My eye. Yep. And then we've got some news. We're gonna try not to go 2 hours, which means we're probably gonna go 2.5 hours. But yeah,
it's likely.
It's the usual. It's the usual. Have we been watching anything? That's usually kind of how we start. You guys been watching anything good other than what we're going to talk about?
I didn't watch anything.
I've been watching The Boys. Yeah, The Boys. Some more.
Well, I watched
not much new.
Yeah, The Boys is worth it though. That's good. We're caught up, I think, aren't we?
I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So is Savannah.
Okay. Well, we have been watching some stuff. Other than that, though, Melanie got me to watch Daybreak, which was the show she talked about last week as her pick for zombies. I've only watched 2 episodes so far. Yeah, I kind of love it. It's kind of great. Yeah, it's or maybe 3 episodes. It's very enjoyable so far.
Mm-hmm.
Melanie is right. It does have that thing. It's kind of like The Babysitter, to where these children or teens, or in some cases actual children, talk like 30, 40-year-old film nerds, but it's not as extreme, or at least as off-putting as it is in The Babysitter Killer Queen was. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I do, because I've seen them all, but yeah. So
anyhow, that's about it. We watched an episode of Woke on Hulu, which was interesting, but I don't know how far we'll get into that show. That's really about it.
I guess I did watch the 2 Kingsman movies. Have you guys seen those?
Yeah. No, we haven't. I haven't seen the second one.
The second one,
yes,
is worth seeing because it does that same thing that like Happy Death Day did, where it's like the first one set it up and then the second one just did whatever the heck it wanted to. I feel like that's what happened with Golden Circle. Was like, we set up this kind of bonkers precedent, so now we can just do whatever we want with it. And it was like, holy moly, you guys just went all out.
I feel like I saw the second one, but I don't know when I would have.
Do you remember Elton John?
Possibly. Was that, or is there like a big thing, like a big party? Okay.
Elton John is like a big deal. No, Elton John is. I don't want to spoil like too much of it, but like Elton John is captive for a good portion of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I still feel like I maybe saw it. I don't know. We'll see. I'll watch it and then I'll be like, oh yeah, and then like 2 weeks later I'll be like, I don't know if I've seen that movie.
There's like robot dogs and all sorts of crazy stuff that I just didn't see coming. And I saw the first movie. People heads exploding in like fireworks. So
yeah, I remember that too. Yeah.
You know, that's kind of the precedent they set, but this was still like, whoa, they're really going crazy with this.
So I think that Jesse might enjoy Woke. I don't know if he's woke or not, but just from the perspective of a fellow cartoon artist being the main character.
Oh, you know what? I think I saw trailers for this and I was interested by it.
Yeah.
I think I would probably enjoy.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Maybe I'll continue watching it on my own. I don't know. All right. Well, let's just move into it. I'm sorry. I was doing my normal beginning of the show pimpage thing, behind the scenes pimpage thing. So that's why I sound like I'm just getting to the party. All right. Well, do we want to start with the Monster of the Week thing, which is kind of what we've been doing? So I figured we
we might as well.
Yeah.
So the debates.
Yeah.
That's the Monster of the Week, right?
The Monster of the Week.
Oh, no. The creepy Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, creepy neighbor.
Oh, man.
We don't. The debates. It's all, now that you've mentioned it, it's all I want to talk about. But
I know.
Very little to
let that
actually
genie
say.
out of the bottle.
No, come on, man. Will you just shut up?
Yeah. Keep yapping, man. Just
shut
keep
up
yapping.
Get to the whatever. Gosh, it's crazy. Let's do it.
It's amazing. It's not amazing. It was a. If you think about it, it's embarrassing. But
that was
for all of us. But that's kind of the state many of us have been living in for like 4 years now. So
yeah,
that's true.
Political again.
Okay.
Savannah said Daybreak is amazing.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good fun show.
I'm gonna have to check this out because like nobody said that's garbage. Nobody said that.
Oh, she also said the original Fright Night is on Amazon.
And the debates were dumpster fire. So yeah.
Yeah, they were.
I believe Shudder, was it Shudder or Amazon I watched it on? I think it was Shudder. Whichever it was, they have both the remake and the original. But who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
So
what did you watch?
I watched One Bedroom, or actually it's One BR. It's on Netflix, which is just where I usually get everything because it's already, the password's already saved in all my devices. So it starts with the girl, generic character, which kind of a lot of Netflix stuff seems to go with a a generic character. And well, you know what I mean. It's like yeah. Very formulaic kind of. She goes to, I'm assuming it's California. I don't know. I don't remember. But she moves to a big city and she's trying to, make it big. I think she wants to be a seamstress or something. Or, I'm assuming like a fashion designer in the long run. But she moves into this one bedroom and they're like, do you have any pets? And she's like, no, I don't have any pets, but she does. She has a cat. And she's working as a temp somewhere. And then you find out she has like an estranged relationship with her father, just, little filler stuff. she has a friend at work who stands up for herself, and she's really respects her and stuff. So she moves into this apartment where she's not supposed to have a pet. And then she starts hearing pipes banging while she's trying to sleep, and she can't sleep at night, so she's all tired. And then she's like, I think I'm going crazy, and her medication goes missing, and just stuff compiling on itself. And then I'm not going to go into like super spoilers. Well, I kind of have to a little bit, but not really bad. But something crazy happens. And then everything just goes nuts all from that point. Like she wakes up and there's fire happening. And then the next thing you know, like it shifts into this whole other thing where it's not like a neighbor. I'll give that away. It's like the neighbors.
Okay.
And
which is fitting with the theme.
Yeah. And it's kind of like a cult, but not exact. I mean, yeah, they're kind of like a cult, I suppose, maybe.
Has it got a little bit of like a it always makes me think of Rosemary's Baby, but it's not necessarily that. But that kind of thing.
What? Well, kind of, but it's maybe she finds out right away pretty much that it's everybody. But
Okay.
they're all so happy, and they're like, you'll be so happy if you just give up, kind of a thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, that reminds me of there's another movie from the 70s, or there's a movie from the 70s where a woman moves into an apartment building,
Mhm.
and it's like everybody, at least everybody on her floor, but I assume it's the whole building, is a part of some group cult thing.
Mhm.
And I don't remember what their end was, like what their point was, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, it was interesting, I suppose, especially if you enjoy discovering ways to break people's psyches, because that's
So what?
a
Okay.
big part of the movie.
What appeared to be their plan? Were they trying to get her to join them, or were they just trying to break her?
I suppose to join them, but it was okay. I guess it was more. It was like, it's not like join us. It's like you can't escape us, so might as well join us because the alternative is worse, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? That's what it was.
Gotcha. Okay. Was it good?
I don't know. It was.
Come on, you gotta give us something.
It was a movie.
Did it suck? Was it boring? What was it? Did it have any good moments that were made it worth watching, or was it just like
I think the back story of it all is somewhat interesting, but
Okay.
I didn't feel especially fond of the character, so I think that kind of just that right there ruins the whole thing for you, because you're like, okay, I don't really give a crap what she does at this point, But I don't think that we got enough time or I don't think there was enough to the character to make you really root for her either way. And I don't know. There was even some people that you were like, oh, they kind of seem like they might be a good guy, but no, they're kind of a bad guy, but maybe they're not that much of a bad guy. So that's nice, kind of layers to people. But still, I don't know. And plus, probably my main thing is I don't like the implication of the movie, which is kind of that we all do that to each other, kind of anyway, to kind of torture each other into being the same or what, I don't know.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Savannah says, I watched Toolbox Murders, not The Toolbox Murders. A guy lived in the walls of this deco apartment building.
Someone was telling me, I don't even know.
There's a couple movies where a guy lives in the walls.
Yeah.
But that's a good creepy setup. But I don't know that they're always good movies.
Except Jojo Rabbit, but that wasn't a guy.
And he wasn't. Oh no, I guess there was somebody in the walls, huh? Kind of. Was it Savannah? Was Toolbox Murders good? I've heard of that.
I don't know. I might have seen that actually.
Okay.
Well,
So
People Under the Stairs is great, so Somebody in the Walls is almost as good.
what was the one bedroom, one BR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I freaked out
Okay.
for a minute.
Who's next? Wait, Jesse was loading for a moment. Uh-oh. Or maybe it wasn't Jesse. Maybe it's me.
I think it's you.
I-
You froze
I
on
think I'm
us a
having
little bit.
Yeah, I'm having connection issues. That
Uh-oh.
sucks.
Those darn squirrels won't stay out of the Transformers.
Squirrels. Hate them. Oh, hey. Speaking of squirrels, Matty D is in the comments.
Oh, woo! Yeah.
And it's his birthday. He's 42. And I'm wearing my 42 shirt because Matt D is 42.
Woo!
Happy birthday, Matty D.
Happy birthday, Matt D.
And hi, Jerry.
And hi. For today, you get to be Maddie Triple D's. It's extra special.
Yeah.
No, okay. Well, it doesn't have the same alliteration as Double D's, so I'm sorry. Okay,
Definitely D's.
he's got a D personality.
I don't know what that means.
Me either.
All right, well played.
Okay, who's next? Jesse, you want
I can go. I can go.
Okay.
And following right in line with our D alliteration, I did Disturbia, because I was going to take the Shia bullet, the Shia LaBeouf bullet,
Shia LaBeouf.
because like I initially just think of this movie when the genre kind of comes up, and you pointed out there's basically like a remake of Rear Window, but not official because they tried to sue him.
Right, Rear Window had, or whoever owns the rights to Rear Window had actually sued the Disturbia people, and the judge was like, "No, it's not the same movie.
It's not the same.
It's not the same story." So close, but yeah, no, Disturbia. Rear Window is what initially pops in my mind, and then Disturbia, I think.
Right.
So yeah, I very much along the same lines.
And I almost went Rear Window, but I was like, nah. I mean, if anyone's going to do Rear Window, it's going to be Randy. And then but I totally forgot you were already planning on doing Fright Night.
Well, I said that, but I usually say something when we're like, we're doing this. Ooh, it gives me an excuse to watch this, and then I don't necessarily watch that. So
Right.
Plus, Rear Window is not very horror. It is much more thriller, and Disturbia, at least if I remember right in the advertising, seems like it was going for a little bit more of a horror thing.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, and I mean the way that it's like blocked and whatnot, it's definitely more of a horror vibe. Shia LaBeouf, I grew to kind of hate him because this is the movie that kind of kicked it off. But like I remembered liking him in this because this is like the first time I saw that character that he essentially was stereotyped into and then forced to play for the better part of a decade almost, which is the awkward but semi-genuine and pretty witty teenage boy. So
Right.
I mean, but he played it well, and this was the first time I ever saw him play that character. And so then he turned into whatever he turned into, which I haven't decided whether or not he's a genius or if he just legitimately lost his mind. But regardless, he's no longer stereotyped. So it worked, whatever it did. This movie is your basic, you've got the neighbors and you start to notice things and it's like, oh, this guy could be a killer. And you start like going down that rabbit hole. But at every turn, it's thwarted or it's shown like they see him dragging a body out down the stairs and whatnot. And there's like a smear on the pavement and it's blood. And you think, oh, God, he's a killer. And then, later on, you come to find out, he hit a deer and there's a deer in his garage. wrapped up in a tarp, that whole thing.
Right.
So it's that whole deal. I'm like, it starts with his dad though. I mean, like it starts with him fishing with his dad. And then they're coming back from this fishing trip that they were doing, father and son bonding time. And then they get into this horrible car accident where his dad dies. And then, like, it just all goes downhill from there, obviously, to the point where like he clocks his teacher for making like a comment, which legitimately, if that came to light, I don't think that this would have gone down the way that it went, like, I don't know, maybe it would have. You can't just hit teachers, but at the same time, teachers can't just talk about your dead dad.
Yeah.
So you're going to get clocked if you talk about a kid's dead dad. So I don't know.
The main thing I remember from that movie is the opening scene, because it does the whole like, oh, just people on a car ride. Nope, horrible car accident, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then, like after that, that's what sets up the crux of this whole thing, where he's got the ankle bracelet, where he's on house arrest, and his mom, who is Carrie Ann Moss, starts taking things away from him, like cancels his Xbox Live account, and then cancels his iTunes account. Remember back when you had to have an account to listen to your own music? That kind of thing. Yeah, just starts canceling things, even cuts the cord to his television. So that sets up this whole idea that I've got to find things to do with my time. So what should I do? I'll become a peeping Tom. And so he just starts watching his neighbors,
Right.
and starts figuring out, like the ins and outs of the neighborhood, that kind of thing. And then there's the hot girl that moves in next door. So you have this literal love interest in the girl next door. Yeah, but then he happens upon the creepy neighbor, and I forget who plays him.
This guy,
and he does a good job with it. I mean, like the casting was pretty good overall. I'm not gonna say this is like a great movie or anything, but like there's some good actors in it, and they did okay with what the premise was. This is definitely not Rear Window, but I remember it hitting pretty well in 2007, which is when this came out.
I guess 2007 was a long time ago already. I was going to say, I thought it came out earlier than that, but no, that was 13 years ago. So it was a while.
Yeah.
I
going back to this movie, I thought I was going to hate it, because it's like, man, I'm going to hate this because it's Shia LaBeouf. It's going to be every Shia LaBeouf I've ever seen. But again, this was the first, and I kind of remembered it as such. So it wasn't bad. I didn't totally hate watching it, but again, like I said, it's not a great movie. It's okay. It's not a bad movie. It's an enjoyable watch.
Paul had said, I used to watch my neighbors. Shrug. Robin, my sister, says Disturbia was definitely entertaining. I watched. Oh yeah. Dad had a lot of less than legitimate copies of movies. Just say that. She watched Dad's copy of it a lot. Yeah, it was. I remember it being kind of big. Like you wouldn't expect it for. I mean, not to mention, not to reference Rear Window again, but it's that kind of thriller, which does not seem like big mainstream, let's market this to the teens movie, but that's kind of what it was. And it did
Shia LaBeouf. And that was kind of around, I mean, maybe not exactly around, but I feel like, when they were making like 10 Things I Hate About You, and like making old ideas into like a new teenage format for the masses.
Right. Yeah. And they changed it enough so that they didn't get sued, or well, they got sued, but so they didn't lose. So Reworth watch. Oh my god,
It was a reworth to watch. Yeah,
worth a rewatch in 2020.
Yeah, it was all right. It was fine. and it holds up okay. I mean, obviously the technology is kind of a hurdle. Where you've got things like walkie-talkies and handheld camcorders and flip phones as your you know. But I mean,
Right,
like
right.
they make some weird, almost hacker level technological leaps in this, where it's like, yeah, all right.
Savannah said 10 Things I Hate About You was 1999.
I know, and that's the perfect amount of time for somebody to be like, you know what, we should do that kind of thing again.
Oh, are they doing that kind of
No,
thing again?
no, because I was saying that Disturbia was like 10 Things I Hate About You, and then they took like a Shakespearean, you know, play that everybody, or not everybody, but a lot of people are familiar with, and then they made it modern.
Oh, just the idea
to
of
relate
taking...
to teenagers or
Okay,
whatever. That's
okay.
what I was, yeah.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I didn't know where the 10 Things I Hate About You thing was. I think maybe just like, hey, it was 1999. Can you believe it? Yes. That movie I do believe, because that feels
Right.
as old as I feel like it is.
Yeah. Plus, Heath Ledger is a baby in that. He's a baby.
Right. And beer flavored nipples. That's the only thing I remember about that.
Yeah.
That's a line.
I don't even remember that. So
What does she have? Was this something like this? Was this chick have beer flavored nipples or something? That's what I remember from it.
That's an interesting look into your psyche.
Very strange line. I didn't write it, but I did remember it. Okay. Here's what I watched this week. This I could have done for vampires, but I didn't. But this has sexy vampires. Can't get away from it. That or I choose not to get away from it. Fright Night from 1985. Yeah, it's Fright Night from 1985. It's amazing. It's so good, man. What?
I was just to say, and the sexy vampires would only be sexy in 1985, really, because they were like, they were so like, that was the hip in 1985. They're like the look that a lot of them had.
When it comes to the vampire,
that movie
or
vampire,
that movie is one of those 80s movies that is in love with 80s fashion.
Yes.
Because especially they go to the nightclub scene, or basically anytime they're like, okay, he's gonna leave the house, so they're gonna put him in. I think he does like an outfit change while he's chasing people around the streets, and then he follows them into the nightclub, and between the streets and the nightclub, costume change. And there's this whole sequence, and it's amazing. This is perfectly 80s, and not okay. So I'm super biased on this one. Like, this is strong nostalgia for me, because my grandparents, they had a bunch of movies on VHS that they recorded off like HBO and stuff back in the day. And when we were kids, we'd go over and watch them. And Fright Night was one of those movies, and I'd watch it all the time. But it holds up. It doesn't, I mean, it holds up in a, wow, this is 80s, but it's perfectly 80s. It's not disgustingly over the top 80s. Some of the fashion might be a little questionable, but I don't know. Everything about the production of it, the look of it is great. It, Robin says we watched that movie at our grandparents at an age that was not appropriate, at least for me. Yeah, when it came to certain horror movies, they didn't care. Fright Night definitely has some questionable stuff in it where it's like, this isn't really made for kids. I mean, teens maybe, but not kids. But so if you've never watched Fright Night for some reason, either of them, because I remember, I believe the remake, the story's still pretty close. Where this ties into the creepy neighbor thing is, it's all about like Charlie, who's the kid, lives in the house, has a girlfriend. They're kind of like two of the main characters, and he gets new neighbors. And the first time he notices he has new neighbors is they are carrying a coffin into their basement in the middle of the night. So then he gets paranoid about them and starts watching them. And he discovers very quickly that at least one of them, because it's two men that move in there, at least one of them is a vampire. And women go over there and then show up on the news murdered later. They don't really show up on the news, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the premise. And then he's like, because he's a stupid 80s movie teenager, he doesn't play it smart. He's not like, this guy is murdering these women that you're reading about on the news. I've seen them at his house. He's like, this guy's a vampire. And so all of his credibility goes out the window.
Yeah. When you open with that, yeah.
Yeah. So that's, I seen him with a coffin. Like, no. Like anybody with any intelligence would be like, I'm going to hold that part back and be like, I seen this woman, went into the house, heard a scream. Now she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
End of story. But then then we wouldn't have the movie we have. So yes, he's a vampire. So everybody's like, you're crazy. He has a friend, Evil Ed. Evil Ed is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So over the top, that character, his friend, and that's, I believe, one of the disappointments in the remake for sure. The remake had Tennant, which I appreciate, but I think it had the McLovin kid. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. As Ed, just doesn't have the same like wild over the top charisma. Anyway, and then so he tries to recruit the help of the only person he can think of, Peter Vincent, and Peter Vincent is played by Roddy McDowall, and he is a TV horror host basically, but he's also like, he was the Peter Vincent vampire killer, filmed a bunch of movies back in the day. Mm-hmm. But of course, and the remake plays it off like this, although didn't the remake make him more of like, because at the time horror hosts weren't really relevant, they made him like a Chris Angel mind freak magician type guy or something.
Yeah, there was some kind of illusionist angle to it.
Right. But in the same way as they did in the remake, he's a flake. He's like, obviously, I mean, in this case, he's literally a TV actor, but he's also like a coward and kind of a flake. Of course, he comes around and helps him out. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't the remake main guy the same guy who died that acted in Star Trek? Yeah, and he was also in Green Room. Anton something. Maybe Anton Yelchin. I don't recall. I don't recall for sure.
Chekhov? Is that who we're talking about?
Yeah, maybe.
I just know fictional names.
Yeah.
Okay, so first, since this is a video format, and we're not just audio content, we're video Facebook. Remember that.
We're video Facebook.
We're video Facebook. So, okay. First off, here's Charlie. He's
man, that bling is legit.
Well, yeah, that's his cross bling.
Yeah, I mean, he knows. There's vampires.
Roddy McDowall.
No, you got to go back and show that the upper right picture, because that's right there. Yeah, that's the 80s. No,
this?
no, over that one. That's where. That's the 80s.
Oh, okay. Well, that's no.
It embodies that whole movie, I think.
So here's part of the dance scene. This is the vampire question. Something interesting, because Dracula is the same thing. They often make him, and I appreciate it, that it's not just like, I don't know, some skinny, young-looking guy, but a slightly older, larger framed guy who I would not assume is like, I don't know what you consider man. Yeah. What you'd consider like sexy man, but I guess. But it's the same thing with that Netflix Dracula series. But like dark hair, I don't know, maybe that's just what a lot of people have as their default. The voice of Jack Skellington, is it? Their default vampire. Yeah, anyway. There's some super cool stuff.
Man, that jacket.
That's his I'm gonna stalk you through the alleys jacket.
That is great.
See, he's wearing he switches costumes back. He switches outfits back because that is basically his I'm going to stalk you through the alleys outfit. But then when he's in the club, that's the I'm up in the club sweater.
Really? I was gonna say that's so like Bill Cosby, like Bill Cosby cool or something. I don't know what was going on at that time.
And also,
there really needs to be a section in Target, the up in the club sweater aisle.
Yes. And
no white sweaters after Labor Day, just up in the club sweaters.
So this does kind of borrow the Dracula thing of like Charlie's girlfriend happens to look exactly like a love he had long ago. So it's kind of pulls a Dracula thing, but he's not Dracula. He's Jerry, which is not nearly as cool sounding as Dracula. But
what is the deal with these love interests?
Charlie's girlfriend is Darcy from Married with Children. Was that her name? The neighbor, Marcy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow.
When she was considerably younger, probably about 10 years younger than she was in Married with Children. In the scene at certain point, like between this happening and like a couple shots later while they're dancing, she suddenly has 80s makeup and hairstyle. So like, the club does magical things to people. Marcy Darcy.
Yeah, that was her name, Marcy Darcy.
I think that's what her name was. Yeah.
Really? Okay. I was kind of right. But yes, eventually she becomes that. It is the slight spoilers, but this Billy says this movie inherited the special effects crew from Ghostbusters. Interesting. The effects are fun. It's very 80s. There is some creature effects towards the end that are, obviously it's pre-CGI, and I'm glad because even though it's like a rubber bat and like a crazy wolf transformation makeup, it's awesome. It's awesome. I'm a sucker for that stuff. And the story it's good. It's pretty solid. Yeah, I don't know. The acting is Roddy McDowell is a lot of fun. Charlie's pretty good. He's just it's very questionable. Like his motive, like his, like I said, he's not very bright.
Yeah.
Evil Ed. Oh, does it not have a picture? Well, that doesn't count. But come on, look at that. That's some fun stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, this scene is actually legit. So this is a vampire that had turned into a wolf. He's
just nonchalantly a vampire that turned into a wolf. Like that's just what happens.
That's what they do. They touch on like there's the classics. Like they even says that like so apparently all the standard rules about vampires that you've heard are true is kind of the whole thing. The one guy turns into a bat a couple times, and he also seems to do the mist thing. So, but this scene is actually kind of hardcore because he stakes a character who got turned into a vampire, turned into a wolf, and then there's this like really weird, grotesque like transformation back from a wolf to eventually human form as he's dying. And Roddy McDowell actually puts like he looks horrified and looks like he feels bad about it. And it's actually kind of a surprisingly seriously played scene. I wasn't expecting it. I was like, wow, okay.
Mm-hmm.
How are they not going to show Evil Ed? No, not that one. This one.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that's the spoiler. He's the one that gets turned into a vampire. But what? What is this? Remember them? Okay. I mean, yeah, it gets crazy. Yeah. But I don't know. He's great. I feel like he's extremely over the top and not necessarily in a good way, but somehow it still works.
Fright Night is one of those things where they're bad neighbors, but it made life more interesting to have those neighbors, so it's okay.
Oh, Billy with some facts. And the movie was directed by Tom Holland, who also made the first Child's Play, who also had the guy that played the vampire in it. Billy says the movie is 35 years old. Spoilers be damned. Yeah, I kind of, but also like if you haven't seen it, you know, I don't want to totally spoil it for people because it's worth a watch. It's a lot of fun.
I know the theme of this is our unusual or our creepy neighbors, you know, like that whole paranoia vibe. But it just struck me as you were describing it. It was like all the rules about the vampires are true. It's like you kind of have like two camps, or I mean, I guess you have more than two camps, but it's often like none of the rules are true. That's all bull honky that they made up.
Right.
Or everything you've heard is true.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they want to get tricky, everything's true until the one thing that would save them in a situation turns out to be the one thing that's not true. So now they're deeper in a situation.
Right.
And I was actually kind of
and it's usually like you failed to mention that.
Right.
Yeah.
But the creepy neighbor thing is good, and I wonder how many parallels there are to something like, I mean, obviously the vampire thing overshadows that theme, but it is so much like apparently calling the cops is going down and getting a detective to escort you over to that house so you can point in the guy's face and be like, they're vampires.
Yeah.
But he brings the cops over. The cops are like, yeah, what are you talking about? There's nothing going on here, blah, blah, blah. And it's that whole thing of like, the neighbors are doing something bad. They're doing something wrong. He thinks the murderers of some kind. He gets the cops over there, and the cops are like, there's nothing wrong going on here. They don't believe him. And it's still plays out like a lot of those kind of my neighbor's a murderer type stories do.
Yeah, they're like, this kid's too square. He doesn't know his neighbors are just swingers or something. So we don't trust him.
Right.
I went into their house and there was just a fishbowl full of keys. It's weird.
That's the kind of vibe I get though from
I think I got
a lot of 80s. Sorry.
Oh, is it not me this time? You cut out.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. We're all over each other. I have no idea.
Okay. One thing I am impressed. So I'm impressed with this for being an 80s movie is the guy moves in with his roommate who is like, he's not really not Igor. What's the name?
Quasimodo.
Or a Quasimodo. What's the Renfield? You know, he has a helper.
Like a butler?
What you think is a human helper. Not a butler, but, you know, like...
Familiar?
Basically, you know. Yeah, a human familiar. He has a
Guillermo.
Guillermo, yes. So it's two guys moving in there, and at one point, they're even... Charlie's mom and even said something like, "Oh, maybe they're not interested in women or something like that." And Charlie's like, maybe he's not interested in women. And Charlie's like, oh, he's interested in women because he'd seen some like hot chick walking in there earlier or something, which is a little presumptive, but it handles that whole thing, that whole situation of like, well, maybe it's a gay couple very well for an 80s movie, because in a lot of 80s movies, it's hard to find even classic children's 80s movies that don't drop the F-bomb. And I'm not talking the usual F-bomb. I'm talking the very derogatory F-bomb. It doesn't, at least I don't believe, it doesn't go anywhere like that. It's pretty, I don't know. It plays that whole thing. It's like, that's not even an issue. So like, I don't know. Cool. I appreciated that it didn't make that an issue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the guy's a vampire. That's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
There was a sequel to the remake? Billy asked,
I think I remember seeing. Oh, no, I didn't watch it, but I remember seeing it come out, like promotional stuff for it.
I know there's a sequel to the original, which I've never watched, and I should. It's probably not as good, and Billy says he's seen the sequel to the remake, and it's kind of poop. Not a word I particularly enjoy being heard said because it's a stupid, ridiculous word.
Poop is?
Poop.
Yeah.
Gross. But
I mean, that's even a word I can say on this show.
I don't like it.
You don't have to Grawlix it. It's just poop. We're gonna keep saying it. Watch Randy squirm in real time. Savannah's there in the comments saying poop.
So
Stephen Jeffries, who played Ed, is a gay person. Well, also, you know what? I might be wrong. I don't have facts, so I'm not going to go further on that. But that's interesting. I see it. He's somewhat effeminate.
I'm just laughing at the comments at this point because I'm a child.
Okay, one last thing about Ed because he's the greatest. I actually had to pause the movie because it made me laugh so hard. At one point when Amy and Ed go to talk to Peter Vincent to get him to try to help, not because they think it's the actual vampire, but to help Charlie, because Charlie, they don't think, they don't believe Charlie at this point, and they know Charlie's going to go murder somebody. They don't think he's a vampire. So,
yeah.
Anyway, I don't remember what Evil Ed said, but Evil Ed said something, and Charlie's girlfriend, Amy, turns and punches him in the arm, and Ed goes, Amy! And just like the way he reacted, it's like, I don't know. It made me laugh so hard. I guess you had to be there.
Yeah.
Moving on. Fright Night, go watch it. 5 stars. Maybe 4.5, but I give it 5 because it's Fright Night.
It's great.
The remake, I remember the remake not being horrible, but also like kind of totally unnecessary. Like I get that
to watch the original.
Right. I get that, kids don't want to watch old movies, but yes, it feels like an 80s movie because it's very 80s in every way, but it feels also like it's aged well. It's one of those older movies where it feels more like it's a period piece rather than, well, it's a period piece, but also a product of its time. But I don't know. Again, it's hard for me to like really say because I've got super strong nostalgia tied to it.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't Colin Farrell in it?
Yeah, he plays the vampire guy.
He plays the vampire, right? Okay. Yeah, I remember liking it partly because it's like anything that Colin Farrell isn't bullseye in, pretty much try to enjoy.
I think that is, if I hear he's in a movie, I'm much less interested. And I think it's because of Bullseye. I think it's because
it's the worst movie he's ever made. I think it's got to be close.
It was the first thing I knew him from, and I was like, that was awful. Right. Screw that guy.
And then he got that was the worst movie that he was in. Now he's been in a lot of really bad movies. Right. I think because of that movie, I'm like, oh man, I want my Irish actors to be successful. I don't know.
I come back a little bit. I come back around to him a little bit with In Bruges.
Oh yeah,
that was a good movie, but he didn't make it good. It was just kind of a good movie. So,
all right, that's fair.
That warmed me up. I was like, okay, well, he's capable of being in good stuff, so maybe he'll be all right. Yeah. All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, my reviews go all over the place.
That's okay. I don't.
So as creepy neighbor movies go, where does this fall? Like, would you recommend it as a creepy neighbor movie or as a vampire movie?
Both. Like I said, the creepy neighbor thing is there consistently. It's essential to the plot. It's like the setting. Okay, there's maybe a scene or two at their school, at Peter Vincent's apartment. But for the most part, it's Charlie's house, the neighbor's house, or the yard between their houses. And that's pretty much where the movie takes place. Oh, and alleyway and dance club. That's when you get teleported into an 80s music video. Also, the music is the score was by Brad Fidel. I am probably saying his last name wrong, but he is the guy who also did the original Terminator score.
Ooh.
And it's so good. It's not amazing. At times it's a little goofy, but it is so 80s in kind of the best way.
Yeah.
Lots of synthesizer stuff, and I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, sorry, real quick. Billy, whatever, you know your name. Creepy.
Billy Peck, yeah.
Creepy neighbors, the Burbs. I can't believe none of us did that, because that is, for me, that is the Creepy Neighbor movie.
It is. No, I would agree. I didn't, because it's more comedy than horror. So,
Yeah.
And it's more like adventure than horror, maybe. But the Burbs is that is the go-to creepy neighbor thing. The paper boy. What's going on in this comment section?
Magic is happening in the comment section. So I went with the most on the nose, probably. That's why I avoided like the Burbs. Was like, oh, that's what we used as kind of the setup for this,
right?
But,
yeah.
And I almost went Rear Window, and that would have been the OG thing to do. But I thought, I'll go with Shia LaBeouf.
Rear Window is great too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The original, they had remade it at one point with Superman, Christopher Reeves.
Just call it Disturbia.
Right.
Don't remake it.
Remake it, call it Disturbia. You'd be safe.
Yeah. It totally changes it.
So I went blank. I feel like
I love you comment section.
Yeah. I'll let you guys just enjoy those comments.
Yeah. No, they're getting pretty magical. They really are.
If anybody happens to be listening on,
I know, because we're not calling them out. We're just laughing at them.
No, because I'm tired of saying poop, so I'm not going to read any of them.
We were tired of saying poop when you said it the first time.
Yep.
And this, you know what? This is why we have Snyder Watch.
Snyder Watch is the poop.
You're right. Snyder Watch.
Snyder Watch. It's
back again.
That's us
back
making
again.
Say poop.
That's a poopy segue. If ever I saw one.
All right.
All right. This week's Snyder Watch will be a testament to the fact that this is a pointless segment most times. Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead Netflix anime series adds Christian Slater and Joe Manganiello. Did I say that right?
I say that word.
So not the Army of the Dead movie, but the Army of the Dead anime spin-off series that will be on Netflix. And apparently this has got just a ton of people attached to it already. Like Dave Bautista, who apparently it'll be a prequel to the movie about the character that he's playing in the movie. Okay.
That's not confusing at all.
A whole bunch of people, Nolan North, who's a voice guy, but also a lot of like non-typical voice actor, just actors. Not to separate them too. Voice actors are great, but But yeah, Christian Slater, that's weird. Sure. And Joe,
he's there to pump up the volume, man.
Yeah.
thanks, Billy. Maganello is how it would be said, according to Billy's spelling or whatever there. Yeah, that's it. That's the story.
That's our Snyder Watch. You're welcome.
You're welcome. I had to dig a little bit for this one. I mean, this is news from today, but I was like, that's it. That's all there is. All right. So yeah, we got other news though. Christian Slater is great in Mr. Robot. Oh, that's another show that I think Melanie and I will have to go back and pick back up because we watched the first season, but we didn't have. It was on what, FX or something?
That sounds right. Something like that.
Something
There's a lot of good
more.
shows on there, but it's like you have to get like the channel or something on Amazon or
Right.
Yeah.
through some other service in order to get it.
Right. But it's not animated, Savannah says. Mr. Robot, that is, I'm assuming. Yeah, no, I mean, with that story, I was actually not super intrigued, but a little bit. I was like, oh, Christian Slater in another thing. That's good. I enjoy an older Christian Slater. I'm glad he's still doing things. He was great from what I saw in Mr. Robot. But yeah, I mean, he'll be doing a voice in this. Let's see. Jamie Foxx returning as Electro in Spider-Man 3. What year is this? Am I sure?
Dude, yeah, is this another Tekken news story? Come on.
This is not old news. In fact, I'll pull it up. This is from around noon today. Here, let me-
Ooh, it's crisp.
It's crisp. That's some crisp news.
Crunchy news. Mm.
The Hollywood Reporter reported this earlier, exclusive. So the next Spider-Man movie, and we are talking about the current Tom Holland, not the director of Fright Night, Tom Holland Spider-Man. Apparently he's in final talks to reprise the role of Electro for the latest Spider-Man installment, which is weird if they really mean to reprise that specific role to somehow carry over from the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man series, or just to like play the character again, to play a version of the character again. Either way, strange, pretty weird. That's
I'm cool. I'm cool with it as long as they don't have him play it exactly the same.
It'd be weird. Yeah. I know they have like on the animated side, they had the Spider-Verse thing. And I know that they're going to get into a lot of multiverse type stuff a little bit with the Doctor Strange and all that. But I feel like Marvel going the kind of DC route would be the DC like, well, let's just pull in all of the old franchise actors and they'll be their characters from that because multiverse. I feel like maybe that would be a mistake with Marvel's stuff. But
depends on how that Stephen Strange show handles it.
Right. But that's not to say that's what they're doing for sure. That there's really no other news beyond that. What I read there.
I'd like to see him get a chance to redeem it because like it's like that whole thing where it's like it's so bad. Like yeah, it'd be nice to see a little redemption. I like a comeback kid.
Cobra Kai. I watched an episode of Cobra Kai too.
Yay!
Just one more, but still.
That fills me with joy.
We're going to jump back 59 minutes. So what have we been watching? Yeah, we did. We watched. You're like two. I guess we only watched one the last week or so, but 3 episodes in, I think, to first season.
At least. Yeah, maybe a little further.
Add to that number. They're still in the top 10, baby. Cobra Kai is still in the top 10.
Speaking of oh, sorry.
No, it's headed to
I'm moving forward. Screw you guys. I'm moving forward.
Yeah, do it. Do it.
I'm like a shark. I can't stop moving. Wait, what's that? What's that LL Cool J song? Jesse knew where I was going.
Oh my
with it.
god, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the song that he did
I'm
for
a shark.
Deep Blue Sea, or like deepest, bluest. I'm like a shark.
Yeah, like a shark fin.
Oh man.
My hat's like a shark fin.
Yeah, that's what it is. In
God,
fact,
why do I know that song?
My hat's like a shark fin. It's so dumb.
Speaking of comeback kids, come on. LL needs another hit just to wipe that one out. Deepest, bluest.
Yeah, LL Cool J's great.
Yeah, he's got like killer abs.
So next week we're doing super intelligent shark movies, right?
That's exactly
That's
right.
a really specific niche. Good luck trying to find more than one.
In fact, here, hold on. Here's a little LL inspired artwork Jesse did a while back.
What?
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
I don't remember this. This is a deep cut. Oh, yeah, that's right. We were talking Deep Blue Sea, weren't we?
Oh man,
Yeah, I drew a shark with a fez.
Deep Blue LL Cool J specifically in Deep Blue Sea goes way back with the Grawlix podcast. This is
Yeah,
years.
it does really. Deepest, bluest. My hat is like a shark's fin. That's bars, son. Bars.
LL is Lane.
Hey, and that's a good point. Billy says, hey, LL was in Halloween H2O. He was. So it all fits.
You're right. He was.
That's full circle.
Was the like slightly comedic relief guard guy, that the gate guard guy at the school or whatever it was. Gate guard. I'm pretty sure that's a job title. He guarded just the gate, nothing else. He's always on his phone talking. I remember too much of that movie.
My hat is like a shark's fin.
Can I do real quick, just jump in? I know this has nothing to do with anything, but did you know that Netflix has a service? It is a gateway service. I think they call it. I don't know. It's a gatekeeper, and its name is Zool. ZU from like. There is no data, only Zool. You know.
No, okay, so it's
Yeah, I get the
know.
reference, but what is?
I don't remember
service?
where you found this. It's like a
It's a
Billy gate guard who tried to write sexy poetry. That's what it was, and he's always on the phone with his girlfriend or his wife or whatever, reading this like these things. He was anyway. No, it's like kind of not like a VPN, but kind of like a VPN tunneling whatever program that they have on GitHub.
mm-hmm.
Some type of gateway
okay.
tunneling
it's a gateway.
program
Oh, okay.
that you can. It's open source or whatever.
But, yeah.
But yeah, it's called Zool. And also, I don't know why they have it. I mean, I'm guessing it's just part of their technology that they developed. And they're like, well, let's put this out there on GitHub and people can use it for some reason, which is kind of cool. But the fact that it's called Zool and it's a gateway. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
oh, yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Speaking of Doctor Strange in the multiverse, I've been holding on to that segue for like 10 minutes now.
Strange.
Benedict
Strange.
Benedict Cumberbatch reveals when Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, what a title, is filming, and it's soon.
Is that literally what he said too? Soon. It'll happen soon.
That is the title of the article on Cinema Blend. But basically he had told Watch Time, which I checked that watchtime.in because it's a Watch Time India. Guessing maybe he's over there filming something, and I don't know, whatever. But he did an interview recently and said, I'm in pre-production with the second Doctor Strange film, which is very exciting. We will start filming in late October or early November, end quote. So, I mean, yeah, no, it is soon. But yeah, that's it.
Is that really only in the second movie in that?
For Doctor Strange.
Yes. Seems
But yeah, I mean,
solo
he
movie.
was in... He was in some of the other ones, but not like, Iron Man or Bruce Banner or Thor are in some of the other ones where they're like main characters pushing the story. In the other ones, he's there, but he's always kind of he feels like a side character in those movies, you know.
It was a pretty big deal in Infinity War, but other than that, he's kind of relegated to like after credit scenes and stuff like that.
Like he played an important part in Infinity War, but really his screen time it wasn't. It still doesn't feel like he had a whole lot of screen time.
That's because he did it all, you know, when he was reliving.
Oh, that's right, because that's his.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when you do things in your head, traveling through different versions of what could happen.
Yeah.
Not much to show.
It pretty much just looks like a guy standing there like, okay, here's what we do.
My hat is like a shark's fin.
My hat is. It really is. You should see his hat.
I loved his bit. Okay, yeah, Billy said Ragnarok and a big part of Infinity War and Endgame. I loved his bit in Ragnarok, though, not really because of him, but that's like the comedy of that movie came out, I thought, really well in that part with him in Thor's interactions.
Right.
And even just the stupid stuff like the hammer, and he's like waiting and you hear all the stuff crashing. It's so dumb, but man,
Loved it.
great movie. That's an okay. That's an okay. It's a good movie thing symbol. That's not a calling the White Brotherhood or whatever it is. That's not what's happening. Stand down, stand by, stand back.
Oh God. No.
No. Borat.
No.
Borat
No.
is back. Who loves
Borat's back. Oh, good. That's timely.
It is actually very timely, according to LA Times. That wasn't why it's timely. Los Angeles Times or LATimes.com says Borat is back just in time to mock Trump and the dangers of COVID-19. So this isn't actually super new news, because I'd heard this a couple weeks ago, and also there were rumors of a Borat sequel a little while ago, because I haven't really followed a lot of his stuff, Sacha Baron Cohen's stuff. I know what his shtick is. I think I seen Borat once years ago when it came out.
Haven't even seen it.
Billy, Borat, yes, okay, yeah. See, people like it, and I enjoy his shtick, and his whole thing is like, in this case, is Borat, but he does a character and then goes out and films around people that are not aware that he's being a character.
Right.
This is exactly the kind of thing that I can't watch, though, personally.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, horrible for me.
And recently, there was some type of, I don't know, convention or conservative gathering or anti-mask gathering or something.
So like a rally?
Some type of rally, and he had booked a gig to play with him and some people as a band, and they played a song which is apparently a song they've done before. It's some type of, but it's just an ultra racist, very racist song, and his whole thing is like, he's satire. It's purely satire. But they go and they find people and they play this song for them that he wrote because it's satire, and then get their reactions as they react to it genuinely, like yeah, Jews bad, that type of thing, right? And so people are so this was not too long ago, and people are like, so why is he making another movie? He's making another Borat? And it turns out, yes, he was making another Borat. And so like he was filming up to fairly recently. I mean, he would almost have to be with some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And he got on the stage and coaxed a crowd to say a bunch of horrible things. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so the original movie was Borat: Cultural Learnings of America for Make Benefit Glorious Nations of Kazakhstan. And the sequel is the Borat subsequent movie film delivery of prodigious bride to American regime for make benefit once glorious nation of Kazakhstan. So it'll probably just be referred to as the Borat sequel.
Yeah.
Right.
But so there's this Twitter account, which is kind of the Twitter account for the movie, but it's the Twitter account of Kazakhstan or whatever, the nation of Kazakhstan. And I won't show it. We won't get into it because it gets super political. But like the recent video was like him saying like, or hit the character in voiceover saying things about Trump, like nice things, like he's not racist and he's not had a stroke and stuff like that, while showing clips of Trump that would maybe indicate otherwise.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So it's gonna be political. Anyway, we're spending more time on this considering I don't remember the movie, and I doubt I don't think either of you have seen the original movie.
Nope.
No.
But it will be on Amazon Prime Video October 23rd. So
Wow.
right
around the corner.
11 days before the U.S. presidential election, this article notes.
Well, good for him.
Oh, yeah. What was it? Oh, it was... He was trolling Pence at this year's conservative political action conference and quarantining with strangers during the coronavirus. What is more dangerous, this virus or the Democrats? He asks his host. Democrats, they tell him. So yeah, okay,
Yeah.
it's gonna be. I actually kind of want to watch it. Okay. Do I want to? Where are we at? I want to skip some of these. I have a couple articles, but they're like basically HBO Max unveils special Halloween collection page. Disney Plus conjures up ultimate collection of Halloween movies and specials, although that is very debatable. And I just kind of wanted to run through a couple of them. I don't want to spend too much time on this though, because it's really a nothing story. But there's a couple notable ones, I thought. So the HBO Max, whatever, apparently they have like, hey, here's a bunch of Halloween movies on HBO Max. And there's some good ones. There's some crap ones. You've got some random Child's Play sequels in there.
Mm-hmm.
The Brood, which was, there's actually a couple of, excuse me, there's a couple of Cronenberg movies. The Brood is an early one. Scanners is listed in here somewhere. Yeah, Scanners is great. We've got Puppet Master.
What? All right.
The Frighteners. It lists The Brood twice. The first three. Oh no,
Alien versus Predator. That's a horror movie of a different kind, though.
All of the Alien movies up to AVP Requiem, so nothing. So it doesn't look like it has whatever the newer ones were. You know, and then a bunch of things. Something notable though that I appreciate that they did is, I mean, I don't really watch any of these shows. I mean, I guess South Park, but they highlighted Halloween episodes of some series, and I love that idea because I'm always like, I want to watch like Halloween TV. I want to watch a Halloween episode of a TV show I like, but like then you have to look it up online. I do like the idea of like, here's whatever South Park Halloween episode or
the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Prince of Bel-Air, stuff like that.
That's kind of fun.
Yeah. The Treehouse of Horror collection kind of thing.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Do they have that? That would be wise.
Who has Simpsons right now? I think Disney Plus has Simpsons. Let me hop over to that. Let's Disney Plus it up.
Oh, it's not the puppet. It's the Alien one, not the Puppet Master.
The Alien
I got
one.
excited for no reason.
Too many movies with the same title.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, so would the Puppet Master be the Puppet Master or something? Or does it just have the same title?
I think it has a subtitle too, doesn't it? I could be wrong. I have it over there somewhere.
They have The Haunting, but not the Good Haunting. They have the 1999 Haunting. That's not a good movie. Now, if you want something a little more family friendly, because Disney Plus does not have hardcore horror stuff. Disney Plus has the same thing. They have a collection of like Halloween stuff: Halloween Town, Halloween Town High, Halloween Town 2.
Oh, come on. We got to come up with one recommendation from the Disney Plus.
I have not
list
watched
here.
it, but I almost watched it for our Frankenstein episode, the Frankenweenie movie.
I was just looking at that. I was like, boom, there it is. Frankenweenie.
Frankenweenie. But not only that, I have seen, where's it at?
They
They have the original 1984 Frankenweenie short that Tim Burton did. And that I have seen, which is kind of what the longer movie is based on. But they do the same type of thing. They have a bunch of movies that they, have whatever they have access to. But they also have Disney Channel Halloween episodes. So they have, I guess Girl Meets World, but they don't have Boy Meets World.
They have Muppet Babies. They have a Muppet Babies episode.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween. Waka Waka.
So yeah, they highlighted Halloween episodes from some shows. So if you want the more family-friendly version, you got Disney Plus. If you want just the weird collection of stuff from like awesome movies, American Werewolf in London to Eraserhead, and I guess maybe that's horror, but I don't know. David Lynch, like none of it's horror, but yet all of it's horror in my mind. The Frighteners. Man, The Frighteners.
Frighteners was really good.
Yeah.
That one surprised me. I thought it was not going to be. It was.
House. The Japanese, I believe it's Japanese. The Japanese House. That movie is weird. You want weird? Watch that. Paul said, let's see. Billy says their Sleeping Hollow movie is really good. Paul says Zombies is fun. The Zombies listed over on, I have no idea what that is, on Disney Plus. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's pretty much it.
I am a little disappointed that Monster House didn't make either list.
That's good.
But good as far as animated like monster shows go, it's one of my faves.
The X from Outer Space, like there's some in the 1959 The Mummy, HBO Max, they pulled some surprising older movies. 1957, The Curse of Frankenstein, Dracula has Risen from His Grave from 1969, Carnival of Souls from 62, which is okay. It's creepy, but man, it's a slow movie.
Oh, Invisible Man. The new Invisible Man is going there, huh?
Is it?
I have to like rent it. I've been wanting to watch that, and so that will be that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna watch it on HBO Max.
Well, you know what else you might have been wanting to watch?
What's that?
And also Disney Plus is a thing.
What?
Assuming you're not boycotting it for political reasons. Soon you can watch Mulan without a Disney Plus subscription. And the reason I'm doing this story is because I didn't realize. So they released it to VOD, or it's been released now, right?
Yeah, I think so. Isn't it out now?
I think so.
I don't know. It's an awful lot of news if it wasn't out.
But they released it to streaming, VOD, and for $30.
Right.
We did last week or the week before, we did a story where basically, yes, they release it VOD, $30, but if you can wait a couple months, it'll be on Disney Plus just as part of Disney Plus. Mm-hmm. What I didn't realize is that in order to even to watch it VOD, to pay the $30, you had to have Disney Plus. So you had to be paying for Disney Plus in order to be able to pay the $30 to watch the movie now. And Paul, we'll get to that in a second. So that's weird. That's weird. But this story is basically in, what is it? Starting next week, it's going to go to like Fandango Now and Vudu, so you can pay $30 without having to also own a subscription to Disney Plus and watch it. Yep, that's it.
And
That's
then it
the show.
will just be normal on Disney Plus, or they're going to make us wait a little longer for that.
You're still gonna have to wait. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's till I think it's December or something. If I remember
Whoa.
from a couple weeks ago, if I
Hmm.
remember correctly. Yeah, because right now it's premium VOD, but eventually it will just be on Disney Plus, and you can watch it without having to pay the $30 to rent it. They did say available for digital purchase October 6th on Fandango Now and Vudu. It'll be available for digital purchase. So that seems different than just renting it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, well, yeah.
I
I'm
assume
okay with that.
Yeah. So I mean,
If I'm going to spend that kind of money and I'm going to own it, that's different than I get to see it once.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as actually owning anything now goes,
Right. Well,
at least
sure.
you can rewatch it whenever
Right.
you want,
Yeah.
assuming Fandango Now or Vudu is still a thing,
Or is bought by someone else that will just roll over the service.
which is it Vudu? It's both of them.
It was UV, like ultraviolet, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
Man, it seemed like every 6 months I'd get a new email. Hey, so this company has been bought by this company, and it roll your account right over. It's like, whatever. I never use it.
Right.
I bought some like DVDs or Blu-rays that had the free digital copy, or get 5 free movies on us. So I signed up for the account, but it seemed like every 6 months it would just transfer companies.
Right.
Okay. And then the last, let's keep going with the news. Hey, did you watch Alita Battle Angel?
No.
Oh, sounds like you might have missed it in the theaters. Well, you might be getting another chance to check it out in the theaters if you want.
No.
So this is a weird story. This is coming from cinemablend.com. Sounds like Alita Battle Angel will be coming back to select theaters. And so early this morning, as this article's from today, which is October 1st for future audio listeners. Oh,
You froze for us.
Oh no, I'm just
reading.
I'm reading messages.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well. Early this morning, the Alita Army embarked on a campaign to get cinema chain Cinemark to re-release Alita Battle Angel into theaters at some point before the end of the year. A campaign that could help boost awareness for a potential sequel. The Robert Rodriguez Films fans took to social media and did what they do best, flooded the internet with requests to make this happen. And just hours later, something pretty big happened. Cinemark responded, and it sounds like Alita Battle Angel will be coming back to select theaters. So specifically in their tweet, they said, hey, hashtag Alita Army. We hear you loud and clear. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Stay tuned. More info coming soon. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Hashtag re-release Alita. This is so weird.
Like, if you're a fan of the movie already, are you excited about this? Like, that it's coming back to the theater? Isn't it? It's out now. You can like own a physical, like you can own it.
It's on,
right?
You watch it on HBO Max or
Yeah.
something, I think. I mean, I guess it has a hardcore fan base. I haven't seen it.
There's like a storied past to that hardcore fan, some of the hardcore fan base, because remember there was a big deal about
what was the other movie that
it was Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel came out, people got mad, and they were like, you want to watch a real strong character, Alita Battle Angel. And so part of my disdain, it's probably a good movie. I have no idea. But that whole thing left a kind of a yuck taste in my mouth. It was like, this is the movie. We're like, is it though?
This is a real woman.
Right. That is
CGI
a robot
that looks too inappropriately young, but also sexy.
Big eyes. Big eyes.
The big eyes make it weird. It's alien-like, but also like it gives it that like weird cuteness.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Robert Rodriguez. I like a lot of his films.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
When he's making films not just for his children. I like his movies typically.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see your messages, Melanie.
That's okay.
I'm reading articles. So I'm sure the movie's fine. I'm curious about it. It hasn't been a priority to me. Apparently it has a following. I found it interesting that a whole bunch of people were like this morning, like, hey, put Alita Battle Angel back into the theaters, and some theater was like, we might be able to do that.
Sure.
Let's see. Billy says, I enjoyed it, but I know nothing about whatever anime or manga it came from. Mostly he likes Rodriguez. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig Rodriguez too. I should just give it a shot.
Yeah, don't let a toxic fan base ruin a thing for you. And that's not to say this hashtag Alita Army is toxic. I don't know their fan base, so I'm not trash talking them.
Right.
But I feel like when you hear this, there's one reaction like people have of like, well, I mean, if the movie studios or whoever is just going to bow to what people say, blah, blah, blah. But this feels different. This is like, hey, you know, movie distributor chain or movie theater chain, demand, and then they're going to be like, supply. So like, that seems okay.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
It's just weird that there's such demand for that, which I didn't hear really all that much when it did finally come out, other than, you know, some of the weird kind of contentious things. Is that the word? Okay. However, if whatever studio owns that wasn't looking, based on what it did in the theater previously, wasn't looking at continuing with a sequel, a select short theater run in one theater chain at the end of Corona year probably isn't going to convince them otherwise.
Look at the money we could make.
Yeah.
I mean,
from
if anything,
limited release, limited seating.
Yeah, I mean, right. If anything, this theater is probably like, sweet, we don't have movies, so
no one is releasing movies. So you want to put a movie out, put it out now. We'll take it.
If they didn't have lawyers, we'd just be streaming Disney Plus in there. We'll watch Mulan.
Next week, that'll be the news.
Right. Bootleg theater showings of Disney Plus, Mulan, and the Mandalorian episodes.
Oh no.
Okay, that's it for my stories. Oh, so then we got trailer. That's the last thing we have to talk about.
Okay.
Paul had mentioned it in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
He said The Craft coming this month.
Yep.
And
they're putting the Blumhouse thing right on. You're like, Blumhouse, The Craft legacy.
I watched the trailer for Blumhouse's The Craft. What is it called? Uprising, the new Legacy,
yeah.
The Origins,
yeah,
generic sequel subtitle. Yeah, Blumhouse's The Craft Legacy. Yeah, we watched that trailer.
Mm-hmm.
And Billy says, I repeat, do not stream Disney. Daydream instruction manuals banned in 47 countries. Yeah, kind of. What did you think was going to happen? I don't know the situation, but
you don't know until you know, and then you really do know.
You don't know till you try.
That's true.
Wasn't it Disney that used to go after like
daycares, yeah,
that had their cartoon characters?
Don't even paint Mickey on your wall. Building. No way. They have eyes and ears.
the copyright's still supposed to expire on Mickey Mouse, and supposedly they missed the opportunity to like do the usual. Let's change the copyright laws because that's the kind of power corporations have in America.
Right,
makes me angry.
Yeah,
but they missed that opportunity. So what are they gonna do? Nah, they're probably gonna pull something out of their hat, and
it'll be Steamboat Willie that will be. He'll fall into public domain, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
So somehow they'll say that's not even Mickey. So Mickey is something
Yeah.
else, and you can't use Mickey Mouse, but you could do, I guess, your Steamboat Willie fanfic movie that you want to do.
Right. That everybody's burning up to
Your
do.
live action Steamboat Willie movie. It was just here I am whistling in overalls on a boat.
Steamboat.
What's that? Is that color? Lawsuit. No color.
Is that color off in the distance? Banned.
Banned in 47 countries. It's you and them.
Yep.
That's not to laugh at your podcast being banned. That's serious news, or serious happenings. But also that's kind of something like, dude, that's something you could. Who can say that?
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of punk rock, isn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was Disney, come on, that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, so the Craft Legacy. I know I made comments in the Messenger. I want you guys' honest opinion on what you thought. Don't let my initial.
Oh, I didn't even get a chance to read
good.
all of those, so I'm unbiased. But
what do you guys think of this trailer?
It looks like it's in the spirit of the original.
That's so wholesome.
In
the spirit of the craft comes a new tale.
Oh,
Yeah.
did it,
House is the
Nancy?
craft-
Wah.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board.
But they didn't
Oh yeah,
have,
yeah. They opened with that. This is like the teaser for the trailer that you're about to watch.
they didn't have the Nancy quality though. That is the only thing
Right.
that saves the craft from being a crap movie.
But aren't you satisfied? They had a Polaroid picture of her.
No.
Veruca Bulk, or what's her name?
Veruca Bulk.
Veruca
Well,
Bulk, yeah.
Actually, yeah. She's a great actress too. I mean,
She's not in this movie,
Look,
so
she's the worst witch.
I thought she was
And
great.
Worst Witch is the
Well,
best
the
witch.
babysitter wasn't even hardly in the babysitter sequel, so
That's a good point. I am. No, I'm sorry. I. You guys continue.
No.
Melanie, did you have more?
I
to
give
say?
she's the worst witch, and that should be enough. Tim Curry in a giant rainbow colored, bat outfit. That's all you need.
I love that sells you for her in the craft.
For anything that he has touched from that moment on, like everything that expands out from it is awesome just by being associated with Tim Curry in a giant multicolored bat suit.
So, like, is this happening in the same town? Like, is that the thing? Like, the house, is it the same house? I couldn't, like, just tell. We're like, hey, we moved into a new house. It's the
That'd be a
same
weird
house.
connection. It's the same house. It's like, well, it's the craft. It's about witches. Like, it's the house.
It's the craft house.
I thought it was like assuming they all went to like the same school or something. So was it like at the town, like the Salem witches or something? It's not. It's whatever crap town they're from, but
Well, and it is
that kind of thing is what I thought it had going.
I realized that whatever her name, Feruza, whatever her name is, more recognizable and more well known. But like, she wasn't the one in the original that had the power. She was the evil one, but she didn't have the power. It was whatever the main character's name was. Yeah,
Nancy is the actual I believe.
No, Nancy. I think Nancy is Feruza. Yeah.
Is that, I thought her big line was like, "Oh, do you, Nancy? Oh, where?"
Wait, maybe you're
So
right.
I could be wrong.
Savannah wants a craft house. But she also says no thanks to the craft legacy. Paul says,
I'll probably see it because my wife loves the original and she watches it just about once a year. So I'm sure we'll probably see it. I don't know if it'll be worth seeing or not, but
the original is perfectly 90s. Like,
was there a sequel to the original?
I don't think
Craft?
so.
Okay.
If there was, it was definitely direct to video. And
Right.
But I don't think so. I appreciate that they are going sequel route instead of just reboot route. But then when they have repeated scenes where it's like, we are the weirdos, that
We are the weirdos. Yeah, that was pretty cringy. It was like, you didn't have to do that.
my roller coaster ride, emotional roller coaster ride of watching the trailer, I was like, oh, I don't know. And they're just light as a feather, stiff as a board. Okay. Oh, they have a pop song, like an upbeat pop song, but they're doing it kind of dark, like every other trailer. That's fine. And I was like, but I'll be open about this. And then I was like, wow, there's a lot of glitter. Don't remember that much glitter and sparkle in the original Craft. They kind of had the opposite look, but whatever. It was the 90s.
It's like what Savannah's comment. I want a craft house, and in my mind I was like, does she mean like witchcraft, or does she mean like arts and crafts?
Like a craft room, but like a whole house. Yeah,
they both kind of apply actually. So I don't know which one she's going for.
She's a craft house. That's the cover song. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that the Craft is such a like cinematic masterpiece that it can never be touched, but like, I mean, it's definitely it's got high school nostalgia for me. I enjoyed the Craft. It was pretty cool. And this doesn't feel right. Paul says now Witches Sparkle. I mean, Witches Sparkling does not completely surprise me, but in a Craft movie, like there was way too much sparkle going on. And also like too much, like she apparently has mind powers that she could just throw people around, and that's fine. But like there was like 3 different versions of that in this trailer. And I'm like,
right.
That's weird. That seems a little like abusing it.
Yeah. But is she being like taken over by the spirit of, Fairuza's character? Is that what's going on? Because I got a hint of that in the trailer.
If that is what's going, I don't know. Maybe
you're not women. Stop trying to think it. Don't overthink it. That's what I was talking about. You know, it's the womanhood. It scares you. I understand.
So is every episode going to be us getting attacked now for not being women? No. Okay. So
the womanhood.
Savannah says, why can't witches sparkle?
And I will argue that and say, if any creature was going to sparkle, it should be a witch, because
or a unicorn.
Yeah,
I'm not saying mermaid can't sparkle, but it's the Craft. They need to at least sparkle in a cooler way.
In a very goth.
They need to sparkle.
Catholic.
They need to sparkle like the night.
Sparkle like the night. This is a Craft movie, not a Batman movie.
There's no way they're gonna make. There's no way they were gonna make this gothy, because that's not gothy isn't a thing anymore. But I don't know. It seemed like at first I was like, okay, maybe, but then by the end, especially once they did the repeat of the "Watch out for weirdos, Sir, we are," or Mr. We are the weirdos. Once they did a repeat of that line, I was like, this is just gonna be a hollow soft remake, is what it's gonna be, and I don't care for it. It's fine. Make it for modern kids. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
The period thing though, even though my initial response was like, oh, a little Carrie now, aren't we? That's kind of horrifying, and I realize that's a real thing that happens to lots of women, so
yeah,
it's pretty good. I did enjoy that. I mean, I didn't enjoy it, but that seemed like that's embarrassing.
That's a weird thing to enjoy about this trailer, Randy.
Poop. Moments. Yeah.
You guys.
Well, we did it, right?
We did it.
We're gonna end on that note.
We solved all of it.
Melanie, save us. What should we be like amazed by?
Right.
Oh man.
Please save us.
Oh. You should be amazed by poop.
Kind of am.
Randy's new kink. It's not new.
Woo.
I live
Whoa.
in the lodge.
No. Yeah, I totally wasn't prepared. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of just anything that has happened that struck me. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's things to be amazed by, but this week they've
Not
just
this week.
been
Oh
They-
man.
they've been overshadowed by like stupid presidential debates and just the crap that bogs us down that has no meaning.
You posted something on your Facebook feed that I was like, wow. But you usually do.
Thanks.
What was it? Yeah, I'm just looking through your feed now.
Well, everybody, go and look through my feed because it's
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah.
go.
Oh, you know what they were talking about? Yeah. What about this paradox-free time travel stuff?
Oh, well, that's paradox free time travel. I mean, it's
that's basically it, but yeah.
yeah, it's all math. It's mathy, and the more you know about math and science, because they kind of are intertwined. Excuse me. That's I don't know. I lost my train of thought. Sorry, guys.
It's all good.
Oh, and Saturn's sixth largest moon, one of the top candidates for hosting alien life. That was kind of cool.
Paul says nothing amazing, no rant. This show sucks. Well, let us tell you some inaccurate facts about Wu-Tang. Then you can go and give us a negative review on Apple Podcasts.
Please do. Those are my favorite.
Those definitely don't stick out.
1 star. You don't know gets about Redman.
Ooh, you remember the YouTube comment we got about Ghost of the Shell back in the day? Maybe we should do we should do all the anime shows, and then we should do maybe we will watch an Alita Battle Angel, and we'll get everything wrong, and we'll have the Alita army telling us why our show sucks too.
Wu-Tang, deepest, bluest. My hat is like a shark fin.
You didn't know LL was in Wu-Tang?
You didn't know that, did you? He's Wu-Tang forever, baby.
Okay.
We're gonna get so much hate.
Oh. Melanie, are you still there? No, she's muted. Okay. Should we end the show? Or
Yeah,
is there-
probably, but we got to figure out what is our next monster of the week.
Okay, here's what we have. We have a potential list.
Okay.
We have redneck / hillbilly / backwoods, and we have possessions, and we have Nicolas Cage. I think we decided Nicolas Cage was going to be the week of Halloween.
Right.
He's the scariest monster.
Nicolas Cage is the scariest monster.
Right. Right. Okay. So
what do we get? What do we not?
what
have
are we missing though? I feel like that would pretty much take us through to Halloween abouts. But I feel like there's something missing because rednecks, hillbilly, backwoods. It's
Melanie. You're missing some Melanie.
Where'd you go?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to use the.
Oh, no problem.
I had to use the facilities for a moment. Excuse me.
What
I have
monster?
issues.
Toilet monsters. What monster
Yes.
what should we do next?
What?
The womanhood.
Oh yeah, hey, we can do craft. The craft. That we can do that one. The craft. That's what we'll do.
The craft.
Just the craft.
Just the crap.
We can do witch movies.
Yeah.
We haven't done
Oh.
witches.
There we go. Wait,
don't
when?
know.
Yeah, okay, we'll do witches. That's a good one.
But which one will we choose?
Oh,
It's gonna suck. I had to throw all my catchphrases in one moment right there.
Does Disney Plus have the witches? Is that a Disney?
I'm sure it is. It has to be.
The Witches is a great movie. Okay. Angelica Houston.
It is a great movie.
Everything about that statement makes me think Savannah should pop up with a comment in about 2 seconds. Be like, "Yeah,
Mhm.
Savannah." Angelica
Disney
Houston.
does Disney own the distribution for Hocus Pocus too. Who owns that? Yeah, you can watch Hocus Pocus on Disney right now.
Oh, it looks like The Witches. Don't quote me on this. It looks like The Witches is on Netflix. Oh. That is a movie you can watch with your kids if your kids aren't wusses.
Lame.
If your kids aren't lame.
That was before Chloe, right? That was before Chloe was born, wasn't it? So it was just Bella and
Gabe.
We watched The Witches with Melanie's niece and nephew, and Bella was like, I don't like the music. It's scary. Can you turn the music off? It's like, that's part of the movie.
The score.
I had a hard time. Yeah, I had a hard time convincing her like not to be scared of it, but it is pretty creepy. So
yeah.
That's my Harry Potter, because it's like the
Harry
same, but
Potter.
if he got shipped off to a different kind of witch school.
Much less pleasant kind.
Witches and wizards were cool. The witches is what Harry Potter would be.
Throwing shade. I mean, like even Harry Potter fans aren't gonna like refute you right now. They're like, no, J.K. Rowling. Oh.
Well, this was produced by Jim Henson.
That's legit.
I don't think he didn't write it, but
doesn't matter. It's got the Henson magic.
Oh, and it was adapted from The Witches, the graphic novel. Interesting.
But that's a rabbit hole we need to get into right now. So.
Wow. Okay.
So hopefully you guys were amazed why I was gone, because I don't even know what happened there.
I don't either.
But I'm amazed we made it through this episode. Are you guys with me?
A little bit.
I'm with you.
All right.
I'm with you.
we did make it too.
I don't really have anything to.
We survived our creepy neighbors and everything.
No. Oh wait, did we determine what we're doing next time?
Witches.
Witches. Yeah, you're right.
Witches get stitches.
All right,
everybody. Grawlixpodcast.com. Go there. Listen
Do
to
it.
things. Click on things. Click the ads. Go to Humble Bundle. Go to grawlixpodcast.com/Humble Bundle. Affiliate links. Give us money.
There's comics. The Boys. There's a good Humble Bundle comic.
Is that one
bundle.
still going? That one might actually be up.
Oh,
But they do have one that highlights. I can't remember their name, but highlights the author of The Wicked and the Divine. So there's a bunch of cool.
Oh yeah. That one just
Indian
went up.
stuff going right now.
Oh, it's something cool.
Also, if you're looking for a Photoshop alternative, one that I've been eyeballing is they've got a software bundle that's Paint Shop Pro 2020, Corel Draw, whatever Corel's AutoCAD version of CAD is, and stuff like that. So I'm eyeballing that.
They had like some cool D&D books if you like reading actual books too.
Or go to patreon.com/Grawlix podcast. We love our patrons.
Yeah. Happy birthday to one of our patrons.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Maddie Triple D's. Am I gonna get canceled for that? I feel like it shouldn't.
I don't know. I think only he can cancel you, I believe.
That's true. He is a patron. He could cancel our patronage.
Yeah. Please don't.
All right. Hey everybody. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend. It's October. I'm glad.
We made it. Whew. Now 2020 can actually start. But
finally.
With, like, good things.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Good night.